Hello and welcome to, or I should say, that doesn't, how do I, where is, hello, too fast, too forever, boy, there's all kinds of family that chose this one. It's episode 271, the Christmas Chronicles from 2018. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too.
And this is a bonus episode dropping on Christmas morning for everyone, patrons and main feed alike. So, get very excited with us today. Even more exciting, it's a Christmas miracle. He has not been on this show since Tokyo Drift Lap, like two, maybe?
One.
No,
Yeah, two.
one was solo. Yeah. I want to see, has he been on any show on the network in years? With us today, with us today, we have Dr. Chris Podcast. Hello, Chris.
Hello. Yes, I was banned from this show after a previous appearance, and fortunately, now that Elon Musk has brought comedy and free speech back to the internet, I can appear once again. So
If Donald Trump says we can say Merry Christmas again, and Elon Musk says
Yes.
we can say lots of bad words again, and now you're back.
Yeah, and it's really
We
exciting
didn't vote
to be
on
here.
it. We didn't vote on it.
Do you remember, Chris, the last Cage Club Podcast Network episode you were on?
It wasn't this.
No, this was in October of 2018. You've been on
Okay.
5 episodes since then, and they
I
all.
think I got it.
Yeah, what is it?
I think it was just before COVID. We did Color Out of Space.
At my house, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We did that on March 8th, 2020, the week
Oh,
before the world
Literally
changed.
a week.
The real
Jeez.
before times.
Since then, actually, you've been on 2 other episodes that were recorded at my house. You were on the episode 1000 for the network, where
yeah.
we recorded after the barbecue. You
Right.
were also on the Charlize Theron clip show, which I think was
Yeah.
maybe after a Camp Cage Club, where we all just watched YouTube in my living room and just recorded stuff.
I
Think
was
so.
there, yeah.
Checks out.
And then you were also on a Hanks with Memories, a Cruise Club, and a High School Slumber Party. But you've been largely absent because you went and actually became a full-blown doctor. Congratulations.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but now here
you
I
love
am.
debt. You love
I
debt.
do. I love being hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt with very little to show for it.
Mhm.
I love being tired all the time in a field that is merciless and disgusting. I'm so good at making decisions.
You should make all the decisions. You're the best at making decisions. But welcome back. I'm so happy that you're here. Before we talk about the Christmas Chronicles, which is available to watch on Netflix if you want to see
Yes.
Kurt Russell, Mr. Nobody as Santa Claus, we kind of put out we did put out a bonus episode for the patrons last Sunday for Better Watch Out, the relatively new-ish horror Christmas movie. But Chris, do you have favorite Christmas movies? I would like to hear a traditional Christmas movie, like one that like everybody agrees, and maybe
Yeah.
like a non-traditional one, like a Shane Black one or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I'll say for a traditional one,
Mhm.
I watch Home Alone almost every year. Love the OG Home Alone.
Okay.
And hey, I think the second one gets a bit of a bad rap too. I think the second one's pretty okay.
Because the greatest actor of all time, Mr. Donald Trump.
Yes, of course. Your president and mine has a great cameo, looking confused as shit in that movie.
And then directly at the camera.
Yes. Look, if A Christmas Story is on, and it is on,
Really?
I don't mind it. I don't mind
That's
it.
my pick, dude. I'm with you, brother.
Wow.
And I hate Christmas and Christmas movies, and like I'll watch A Christmas Story on loop on TBS or TNT, whatever channel it's on.
Apparently that guy made he rebooted or something. There's like a TV series about it, and my friend who has young daughters watched it and hated it. Like he just said it ruined. I don't remember the exact verbatim, but he was very upset that the whatever the new version, like a Christmas story or something like that.
Yes.
Is apparently not good. I haven't seen it because I don't like the original, but I don't know.
You don't like the original? That tracks.
It was one where, because my cousin would, like, that was, like, his thing. Like, he would always watch it on Christmas, and, like, he'd make a big deal. I'm just like, this is not good. Like, even as a kid, I'm just like, no, I want to be a difficult, pretentious little, like, 8-year-old. And I didn't watch it at the right time, and then I tried to watch it. I watched it, like, a handful of years ago. I'm just like, nope, I missed it. I missed the boat.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then weird ones. I mean, like, look, Die Hard is great, and it is a Christmas movie.
Thank you.
And I'm flying. Actually, I'm flying to LA on Christmas night this year, so I'm excited to have a Die Hard Christmas. I'm sure I will be killing several terrorists, and
Toes with your
I'm
fists
very
with your
excited.
toes.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna try. Yeah, I'm gonna try to not have my feet destroyed by glass. But who can say? We do love feet on this podcast, don't we?
We stand a healthy foot.
We have recently talked about foot
We
fetishes
have.
on this show, actually.
But I will pick two very non-traditional yet extremely sexy Christmas
Ooh.
films that I love, and that is Batman Returns and Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, that was one of the episodes that you were on. You were on our
Uh-huh.
Cruise Club episode of Eyes Wide Shut. And yeah, Batman Returns is a great one. There was so every day there's a Bing poll. It's like
Okay.
it just like it recently said which Tim Burton Christmas or which Tim Burton movie does Christmas right, and it was Edward Scissorhands or what's the other one?
Nightmare?
Not Batman Returns.
Nightmare
Yeah, I
Before
guess it was
Christmas.
Nightmare.
That's
Yeah,
not
I guess
technically Burton.
those were
No, it
the
is.
two.
He produced it. What's his name? The guy with whose last name starts with an H, who just put out that new movie.
Oh,
He's a director.
Henry Selick.
Selick. That's it. Yeah.
He did Coraline. He did Wendell and Wild. James and the Giant Peach. Wow, I always thought I would have gone to my grave thinking Tim Burton directed that.
You're welcome.
I will also go to my grave. I would die to see, even though I don't like that movie. I don't dislike that movie. I haven't seen that movie in forever. I want to rewatch it. But
What?
like Phoebe Bridgers singing in London, I think, as the Sally, as the Catherine O'Hara voice.
God. Fuck, yes.
Man, I would love to see Phoebe do that. But
I know you would. Wow.
yeah,
Joey hates A Christmas Story and somehow loves spin-off remix songs of A Nightmare Before Christmas. All of
well, no,
this
they did like a
tracks.
stage. They did like a stage production of it. Danny Elfman and Phoebe Bridgers did the Jack and Sally thing. It wasn't like a
yeah.
spin-off. It was like a reimagining, reliving, whatever.
Still. Okay, either way.
But we are here to keep up a Christmas tradition on Too Fast, Too Forever. What other Christmas movies have we done, Joe? We've done
Long Kiss Goodnight, right?
Long Kiss Goodnight. We did the
Noel.
Is that the Paul Walker as a cop
Yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah.
We did last year. We did the Will Smith one, where a Collateral
three.
Beauty. Collateral Beauty.
Ooh, oof.
It was was that with the three where they were the
Yikes.
ghost the whole time?
Man,
That's
that
a
movie is
rough
so
watch.
good.
Ugh.
That movie.
That
there
was
were-
really, really enjoyable for me.
There was a letterbox list called the CBCU, the Collateral Beauty Cinematic Universe, and it's all
yeah.
movies that give that vibe. This was, I feel like there were more than this, but it's Collateral Beauty, Aloha, Life Itself, The Book of Henry, Irreplaceable
Serenity
You.
feels like it should be on there.
Serenity should be on there. Like, I don't know. There's another list that's like a Dear Evan Hansen, Remember Me. Like, there's all these movies that are just like, that they take so many swings and connect on zero of them.
Yeah.
And it's so impressive, man. I love
Yeah.
those so much.
What's the one where like Adam Sandler's really sad that his family died in 9/11? That's one of those too.
Whoa.
Oh.
Isn't it? I think it's called
Reign Over Me.
because
Yeah,
it's named
wow.
after the Who song. Yeah,
I did not know that's what that movie was about.
I think that's what that movie's about.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. I feel
Where
like
did he
in-
take his family on vacation for that one?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, that one
Joe,
doesn't
his
have.
family died.
Well, it's right.
I mean, like his real family.
Yeah, they died.
It's the only way he does movies.
He's
man.
He's method, man. Not method man. He's method, comma, man. He's like, I need to do this movie. I need you all to perish.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
The Christmas
And then he did
Chronicles.
Click and got them all back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good call.
With the Bed Bath and Way Beyond, which I thought was very funny the first time when I was like, when did the movie come out? 2004? And I was way too old to enjoy that, but I'll admit it. I liked it the first time. The Christmas Chronicles, the story of sister and brother, Kate and Teddy Pierce, whose Christmas Eve plan to catch Santa Claus on camera turns into an unexpected journey that most kids could only dream about. Had either of you seen this movie before this week?
Never heard of it. Never seen
Really? Never heard of it?
it. Nope.
Did not know it existed.
Yes.
So Chris is here. Chris, do you like Christmas in general? I know your name is in the thing, but do you like Christmas? Or you like? Because I know Joe hates it.
I don't
Yep.
hate it. It's not my favorite holiday. That is obviously Halloween. But I don't really hate it. I hate the world around it, like the bombardment of terrible Christmas songs and
Yeah.
Toyota holiday events and
Yes.
things like that.
Toyotathon.
But otherwise, yeah, I don't outright hate it.
It is fair to say, though, I think that for people who know you or your history of movie taste and podcast, this is kind of a weird fit for you to make your triumphant return to the network to come back for the Christmas Chronicles.
You did sort of bamboozle me on
Well,
this one, if I recall correctly.
That's the story I'm setting up. So yeah, please go ahead. How did you wind up on this episode?
I was very crossfaded at a Carly Rae Jepsen concert, and Joseph asked me if I would like to be on a episode. I believe you just said, I don't know how much you told me. I do remember you saying Kurt Russell, and I thought, boy, I love Kurt Russell. I could be doing a Tarantino movie. I could be doing a Carpenter movie. Shit, it might be Stargate, but it'll be fun. Didn't really expect to get the Netflix original, the Christmas Chronicles.
I think, if I remember right, I think the way that this went was it was before the concert started, and I was like, I really want to do a Kurt Russell lap, because I think it was right after we had done Christine, maybe, Joe, and I was like, I was talking to Joe, I want to do like a Kurt Russell lap, and like he wants to do it, but yeah, he feels like we were talking about like whether we should do it before we do like the Rock lap or whatever, and Chris was like, oh, I would be on any Kurt Russell movie. I was like, well, we're not doing those yet, but we are doing the Christmas Chronicles. You're like, all right, fuck it, whatever. So I think it was kind of like that. Like, so it was like a resignation, like, I really want to do a Kurt Russell movie, but the only one you're doing is where he plays Santa Claus for the first time. Stay tuned for next year where we bring Chris back for the Christmas Chronicles too.
So yeah.
Is there really a second to this?
There is.
Oh,
and the reason I think that I agreed to this was I don't think you hit it. I do think you did tell me vaguely what it was, but I think you were thinking of two, because I think you pitched it as a Kurt Russell as Santa Claus, Goldie Hawn as Mrs. Claus movie, which that is technically correct, but she is in this movie for about 12 seconds.
I was disappointed by the lack of Goldie, because the only thing I knew about this movie at all was Kurt as Santa Claus, Goldie as Mrs. Claus, and I thought it was about them. I think the second one is about them, but I think because she only shows up with the last like 30 seconds of this movie.
Yep.
Yeah, it's basically an end credits sequence. She's kind of the Nick Fury of this movie.
Yes.
She is, which is kind of amazing. As like a teaser, like, oh, his actual wife. Do you know, hold on, what I found out. Do you know that his daughter, Kate Hudson, their daughter, Kate Hudson, is married to Matthew Bellamy of Muse?
Oh,
no,
I did not know that.
Sounds vaguely familiar, but okay.
So in the movie where the daughter, where Katie Cat, as she is referred to, goes to the North Pole and sees all the videos, apparently the kid who's asking for a snowboard on that video is Kurt's grandson, Bing, like the search engine, Bing Bellamy, who's Matthew Bellamy and Kate Hudson's kid. So I was just like, there's a weird, like, and then there's a bunch of names that they use that are all like Kurt Russell's actual grandkids. So like, this is like almost literally a family affair, which is kind of sweet because I feel like it's, in line with the holiday, but yeah, I thought there's going to be a lot more Goldie, and I think I don't know what the second movie's about, but I think Goldie is a much bigger presence in the Christmas Chronicles too.
She's on the box, so maybe.
I always thought she was on the box for this one too. But
oh, maybe.
I don't think she is.
Maybe I missed it.
I mean, I watched on Netflix, so I didn't see like.
Well,
what
yeah,
the actual
I mean,
poster looks like,
Yeah, I guess by the box, my old boomer ass blockbuster mindset just goes to
the movie
box.
poster. Yeah. The poster is Santa alone, with his arms crossed, looking like a badass, in front of a Christmas tree with all the CGI elves all over the place. Kids are not on it. It's just Kurt. So, Goldie, nowhere to be seen.
You know what? To be fair, for the Fast and Too Fast, Too Forever Podiverse, you did pick probably the movie with the most Too Fast and Too Furious of Santa Clauses. I can't imagine him getting higher speed ever. Yeah,
there's so much car talk in this movie.
There's a fucking Challenger in the video.
In a way that I did not expect.
Yeah, same. And Kurt Russell definitely just plays Kurt like Mr. Nobody in a Santa Claus costume.
Right. Like, I will say, I don't think this movie is good. I enjoyed it as much as I did, which is to say, I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it because it's just Kurt Russell as Kurt Russell dressed like Santa Claus. Like, that's basically what it is. Like, he's just being any Kurt Russell character, sort of, into a PG movie as Santa Claus, and I enjoyed that. Like, it's a different take on Santa Claus, and it's kind of like exactly what I was hoping for and exactly what I expected, and it worked.
When I did some research on like who and why about this movie.
Hmm.
There was a couple things that made a lot of sense to me, and
Okay.
then one major thing that didn't make any sense. One, this is directed by the guy who was the DP on Forrest Gump, who was nominated for an Oscar for that.
Really?
Yes, that guy is his career is very for hire, but like high end for hire. But
Sure. Okay.
he's not a
Yeah.
consistent guy. Like he's not who's the guy that worked with Spielberg forever? Was that Janusz? I always want to. Is that Kaminsky? Is that his name? Whatever. That guy or the guy who did Skyfall, who had been working with the same people for years. Deakins. Um, yeah, that's right. I'm coming on here name dropping cinematographers and
Roger
DPs.
Deakins. Yes. Did
Yeah.
Skyfall. Yep. Hmm.
So that happened. So that guy has
Yeah. Don Burgess did. He shot Forrest
yeah,
Gump,
all over the
Spider
place.
Man, Aquaman, 13 Going on 30, Castaway, The Conjuring 2, The Polar Express, Enchanted, Contact, The Muppets, Flight, Terminator 3, 42, Pinocchio. Like, this is the new
Uh-huh.
Pinocchio. So he looks like he works with Zemeckis a lot. He works with
Yeah.
Tom Hanks a lot because they work together a lot. He does a lot of family stuff. That is a wild resume.
Well, yeah, and I think where this comes in is this studio is Christopher Columbus's studio, 1492 Pictures. Christopher Columbus, not the disgusting racist Italian who did not discover the New World, the director of such films as one or both of the Home Alones, Mrs. Doubtfire,
Hmm.
9 Months, I think, the first two Harry Potter movies. And I actually really did get the vibe as I was watching this of this is kind of like Home Alone meets Harry Potter, in just a real Christmas setting. There's a lot of flying scenes where kids are getting empowered and doing a bunch of cool wizard shit, and there's a lot of weird adults taking pratfalls. So this being a Chris Colombo movie, kind of it makes a lot of sense if you've seen some of that guy's work.
I think the way that I could describe this, if you have not seen it yet, is it's exactly what you think it's going to be. It's family friendly with a little bit of, I think it's not even edge. Edge is the wrong word, but just
No. Yeah.
it's something that is just it's not overly treacly.
Yeah.
It's just it's what you kind of want it to be. It's a thing that if you're with your whole family and they put this on, there are worse things to watch.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of worse things to watch, and they're all on the Hallmark Channel. It's all there's 30,000 movies about a businesswoman who goes back to her hometown and meets a guy wearing flannel who makes bespoke ladders, and decides to leave her career to move back in with her parents and fall in love with him. One of those fucking movies, or movies called or My Christmas Prince or something like that. Those are your
Extreme.
options for Christmas movies in the year of our Lord 2022. So
Mhm.
you could do a lot worse than this.
Joe, what did you think? You've been suspiciously quiet of the Christmas Chronicles. What did you think of this movie, bearing in mind that you hate Christmas?
I thought the whole time I'm watching this movie, man, I really like Kurt Russell.
Yep.
And not much else. Not because, again, I agree with what you guys said. I think there's a lot worse you could be watching. I find some charm in how bad those other ones are. This was too Christmas wholesome propaganda bullshit for me. So those parts I didn't like. I hate the movies that are we can, besides the Hallmark ones where it's clearly the main plot point, the we can Christmas cheer somebody back into Christmas is something that I hate because I'm a long-standing Grinch who's never been turned. So I don't think that it's possible, and I hate people trying to force Christmas at me, and that's what I was perceiving while I was watching the movie.
But Joe, his dad died in a fire.
I know, he was a firefighter, he died in a fire, all he wants to do is talk to him. I get it. The little girl's cute too, she's a pretty good actress.
Did you recognize her? Because she was a sort of a high profile thing in a really high profile project in the last 5-ish years.
Oh, no, I don't.
Were there?
It was a TV show. I'll give you a hint. It's a TV
Oh,
show.
no. I don't know.
She played Adam Scott and Reese Witherspoon's pretentious, music-loving daughter on Big Little Lies.
Oh, I don't know that show.
Sure.
But, okay.
If you
fair,
say so.
yeah.
Wait, Joe, you have been up my ass metaphorically about The White Lotus, and you didn't see Big Little Lies? You don't love middle-aged white woman porn as much as I thought you did.
No, I like White Lotus. But
I know. That's what
no.
I'm saying.
No,
And he
it's
likes
not like I like
middle-aged
the
white
whole
women
show.
porn. Don't get him wrong there. Just
Yeah.
not that kind.
No, but I feel like there's a certain lineage from like Big Little Lies into the White Lotus.
No, would never
No?
have
Okay.
connected to me.
Okay.
I like I know people. I know people watch that show, but like, didn't sound like anything of interest to me ever.
And her brother, is from The Babysitter, that movie, the other Netflix movie with Samara Weaving.
Oh,
He's like the main
yeah.
kid in that, and he is
Okay.
one of the leads in Summer of '84, which is the
Oh.
horror high school movie that the team, or the three people, I think two men and a woman, who made Turbo Kid, made Summer of '84. I've talked about both
Okay.
those movies on High School Slumber Party if you want more of this kid. Like, I think they're both good. I think the daughter,
Yep.
especially is pretty charming and like
Yep.
charismatic. But again, yeah, it's exactly the whole like he's grumpy because he's lost the Christmas spirit, and she wants to Christmas spirit him back into it.
Yep.
And it's a dead dad and an absent mom because she's supporting the family, and yeah, it's exactly what you think it's going to be. Again, I think this movie is entirely solely propped up by the fact that Kurt Russell is Kurt Russell and can make anything watchable.
Yes. And seeing Kurt Russell play a Kurt Russell version of Santa Claus
Yeah.
is awesome. I agree.
I do have a question for the two of you, and anyone out there listening with young children, skip ahead a minute or two.
Uh-oh.
Has there ever been a movie where, like, I guess there has been, but like, because he almost tells her Santa isn't real, and then
Oh.
he's like, you know what, like Santa isn't. He's not watching your videos, but like, I'm like, there's like, because by the end of the movie, it's like Santa is real. That's what this movie is establishing. But there's almost like he almost explicitly says, like, as a mean older brother, Santa isn't real. Like, has that been a premise in any movie? 'Cause
Yeah.
Isn't that
feels
like the
a big
premise of the
swing.
Santa Claus? Like
Santa Claus, Elf,
yeah.
both of them kind of talk about the fact that like you grow old and then like stop believing, and
But has it ever like been in a way that like is told like in a mean, like, you're a dumb little kid?
I think so because I think that like even when you're young enough to still believe in Santa, the idea that there's like evil older kids that will just tell you he's not real exists, whether you believe that or not. Like 'cause
Yeah,
that's not like your parents. That's like somebody just like tormenting you.
Miracle on
Right.
34th Street. That's also a major plot point, right? That like Santa doesn't exist. It's been a million years since I've seen that movie, but I think that's a big thing, right? They put Santa existing or not on trial, if I remember right.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, the idea that Santa actually does exist, but you just get old and forget, is a thing a lot. But yeah, is there ever a point where they almost just straight up have a character say that? I don't know, but I did clock that as a interesting turn of events in that story.
Very quickly, speaking of the Santa Claus, apparently Kurt Russell was considered for that role before Tim Allen got it, so we could have almost had Kurt Russell in those movies, which, I mean, we probably would have lost out on other Kurt Russell movies, so I'm kind of glad that didn't happen. But okay, so let's fast forward to the end of the movie,
Okay.
and we'll get back to the journey. But at the end of the movie, we see Santa delivering all these presents, and like the kids open their gifts, and this is a single parent family, right? It's just the mom, and Santa gives Kate a skateboard, and Santa gives not Kate, the brother's name is Teddy Bear, gives him the old Christmas ornament that he can see his dead father in.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
The mom has to know
Right.
Santa exists because they have gifts under the tree that she did not buy them. And there's like the Aunt Peggy or whatever. But then, so like there's that on that one hand, that like every parent on the globe is seeing their kids open gifts on Christmas morning that they did not buy. Then, when Santa is in the real world, people have so lost the Christmas spirit that even when he knows their name, what they asked for Christmas, who they are inside and out, they don't believe he's Santa Claus. Like,
Yes.
where is the balance in this world?
You know, there's just an arcane umbra when you get old that prevents you from really truly deep down in your heart believing in jolly old Saint Nick, and it's hard to break through. You really need that evidence right in front of you, and you know the sorcery, since Saint Nick is basically a warlock. You know, he must cast some kind of divination on the family to make them think that they bought the toys, or maybe they can't see them. I don't know.
Like Men in Black.
Yeah.
He like, you know.
He reverse neuralizes, like, you've always
Yes.
you've always remembered this.
Yeah, I think so.
When growing up, did you guys get gifts? Were all your gifts from Santa, or did you get gifts from your parents and also Santa?
Parents and Santa, but honestly, I think Rachel said like her mom does this in a way that I think is the best,
Okay.
which is like she gets like one normal low dollar price gift from Santa, and then everything else is like from her mom or something.
Okay. So Santa gives like one thing that she wanted, and then the mom gets the credit for the rest of it.
Yeah, but in the sense that I really like this because then it doesn't like, little kids go back to school and they're like, "What did you get from Santa?" And somebody's like, "I got like 3 Xboxes and 2 iPads."
Right.
And then some other kids like, "I got one Hot Wheels
I
car."
got a yo-yo.
Yeah, and you're like, does Santa just like hate that one kid or like
Right.
what? But it's obviously not that. So I think that we should collectively, communally, if you want to celebrate Santa Claus, do it the way that Santa has like a $20.
Well, I think whatever Santa does, he should just do it for everybody. Like either all your gifts are from Santa, or just like one kind of dinky gift is from Santa. Because then you'd be like, oh, well, like the rich kids got it because like Santa loves rich kids more. I don't know. That's maybe my logic doesn't really work, but
No, you see mine though. Like if
yes,
they
yeah,
like
no, yeah,
if they
yes,
got
for
like a
sure.
handful of pencils, you'd be like, okay, cool. Like everybody got stupid things from Santa,
Mm-hmm.
but like my parents are rich, so that's
Yeah.
why I got a Nintendo.
Chris, did you get Santa gifts and parent gifts, or just Santa gifts?
I think I pretty exclusively got Santa gifts, if I remember
Okay.
correctly. Yeah.
I think I got a mix, and I don't think there was any rhyme or reason which was which.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I think I had a mix, and I don't think it was like one way or the other.
It does feel like there's a lack of order. Like I feel like there should be things that like when you have a kid, someone should pull you aside and be like, "Here's are you going to celebrate Christmas? Here's what you have to do."
Here's your rule book.
Hmm.
Start there, and and like
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah. We'll get to actually how to raise the kid and like how to keep it alive, but here's what you need to do about Christmas so that you don't make other kids feel bad.
Yeah, or like, and like, you know what?
Hmm.
Like, we're sick of the cookie shit, so we banned that last year. No more cookies. Like, we just came to get. You can vote on the next round, but like, this is what we got rid of last time. You know?
Did you? I'm assuming. So you both, I would assume, put out milk and cookies, right? Yes.
A couple times, not all the time. But
I
yeah.
agree. I'm with you. It was maybe a couple times, but not all the times.
Now, did you also, like my mom encouraged us to do, put out carrots out front for the reindeer?
No, but we did carrots for the Easter Bunny.
Oh,
Interesting.
I like that.
No carrot. Maybe carrots one time with cookies, but maybe not. I don't think I would ever have carrots in the house. I don't know why.
Okay,
Doesn't sound like a thing that was in my household.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Or at least I didn't consider it or eat them or think about it as a child.
Now, Joe, I know this is not your favorite movie, but
Yes.
favorite moments, favorite scenes, favorite lines, Kurt or otherwise.
I think that one thing we can learn from this movie is that if you are like their father and you love Christmas too much, it will just kill you.
Yeah.
And that's probably something you shouldn't do. So I think being a non true believer will keep you alive longer, although you might be miserable. I think that those people are safer. Like the little girl's a true believer. She just jumps off a telephone pole for no reason. Like they all have a death wish if you believe in Christmas, is what I've learned from this movie. And I just think it's much safer to just, hate it like everybody else.
So your favorite part was when the dad died? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yeah.
Just want to make sure I'm reading between the lines there.
No, I did like the that when he like goes to drive the sleigh, like the believe in yourself message. I didn't
Sure.
expect the believe in yourself message to come through in a Christmas movie, but I support that one. So
Okay.
that one was good. I was like pretty okay with that. Hearing Kurt Russell call like when she asks him to say ho ho ho, calling it fake news felt like very icky in a weird way.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I didn't mind. I didn't like it, but I didn't mind it because I feel like everyone was trying to be like, "Hey, we're with the times." Because I think
I
Netflix's whole
agree. It
thing,
dates it, but this is
Mhm.
like the Game of Thronesing of
Yes,
the thing. Like
one
you
hundred
said it,
percent.
you said it in a time where like this wasn't terrifying yet. That's why it hits in a weird way.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it doesn't make me think that like Kurt Russell's Santa is a full blown chud or anything like that. Even though, let's be honest, Santa probably would be. It did the
I mean, he
same thing
wears
that
red.
I mean, look at that beard.
Hmm.
He's
fat white
he's
guy.
basically got a sweatshop.
Yep.
Like he's a big old
Yes.
capitalist.
Yeah.
He's into spying on people, like big supporter of the Patriot Act.
But
Yeah.
he also is very. He gives a lot away to charity, and by charity I mean children.
Yeah, for tax breaks probably.
Do you think Santa pays taxes?
I don't
No, he's
know.
a fucking organization. Like,
He might be pulling like a Dan Snyder and going out to like a place where the government can't actually get him. That might be where he's at the North Pole.
And sending racist emails? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying
Oh
also?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
and like trying to prostitute. Never mind.
Yo, he did talk a lot about like crime in Chicago, wink wink.
He did talk about crime in Chicago.
Couple of fucking Rush Limbaugh talking points there.
He seems pro-cop.
Yeah, ACAB,
He
man.
was-
Santa does not say ACAB.
yeah.
What did you guys
Reindeer are
think of
ACAB,
the?
though.
What did you think of the Stephen Van Zandt Christmas musical number?
That was rough. That was the part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part was not necessary.
Do you guys know? So they sing "Santa Claus is Back in Town," the Elvis song. Do you guys know the Kurt Russell Elvis like lifelong connection?
I
No.
was wondering if that was going to come up. I don't know the lifelong connection, but I was thinking like stupid IMDb trivia stuff that pops into my brain. Does he not also play an Elvis impersonator in 3,000 Miles to Graceland?
He does. He's also Elvis Presley in Elvis, the John Carpenter movie, the TV movie from 1979. He was also
Oh.
Elvis in voice only in Forrest Gump. But there was Kurt Russell, like either his first or one of his very first films was the Elvis Presley film that Mike and I just covered, the most recent one. It happened at the World's Fair, which Kurt Russell, when he's like 5 or 6 years old,
No shit.
Elvis pays him five, or maybe he's a little bit older than that. Maybe he's like 8 or 10. I don't know. He's a very young kid though. Elvis pays him $5 to kick him in the shins so he can go to the ER and like hit on this nurse that he's got a crush on. But the Elvis and Kurt Russell were in a movie together, and then he comes back later. So like, there's been like for Kurt Russell's entire career, he's been like linked to Elvis. So to see him sing an Elvis song here just kind of, fits in with that thing. And like that's the most recent movie that Mike and I just covered like 2 or 3 weeks ago on Viva Pod Vegas. So like it's very fresh in my memory. But yes, Chris, absolutely. 3,000 Miles to Graceland, Forrest Gump, and Elvis, and then also this, I guess. So big long connection.
Oh, I will say that I don't think that they were trying to do like a weird like conservative Santa thing. I think it was just a line that dates the hell out of the movie.
I agree. Yeah.
Sort of like that, like the sequence in Knives Out where like they're having the family argument about Trump shit. It's just like it's a cringy moment that puts the movie in a very specific time, which you should probably never do unless it's a specific plot point in your movie.
No, and like the whole, I feel like the point, for lack of a better word, of a Christmas movie is to be timeless, right? Like it's
Yes.
just
Exactly.
like we can watch like a good one you will want to watch every year, and this is like, hey, remember fake news? It's like, God, I wish I didn't.
Exactly. Yeah, no one needs to be reminded of
No.
any. I mean, yeah, we're just lucky that they didn't have like a coronavirus reference or something like that, because I feel like those are going to be a thing for a while now. But yeah, it was a real relief that we didn't have to hear Santa Claus talking about masks or something like that. Then we might have really gotten a chud Santa.
It's so annoying to me. Like, obviously, the last like 2 or 3 years, anything that's been made during the pandemic, people have had to figure out a way to like, how do we make a movie with only one actor or 2 actors or whatever, right? Like, how do we get a very small cast? And I feel like every time you see it done wrong, you're like, I just wish this movie didn't exist. And you see it done right. Like I just watched Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes, which is like this time loop movie that was like, there's like 6 actors and it's like a Japanese movie. It's awesome. And I'm like, why? It's so good that like it makes me angry at every other COVID movie for like trying and failing. It's just like, get more creative. And I know that like that's easier said than done, but like if you're going to reference or like if you're going to make a movie during COVID and like have to do things a certain way, still make a good movie. Don't be like, oh no, our marriage is falling apart because we have to live through the pandemic. It's like, no one wants that.
No.
No, the only thing I will accept is a remake of The Shining based around quarantine. That is the
Ooh,
only
why
movie
did
that I
no
will
one do
accept.
that? Why did no one do that?
Yeah, I want that.
Why did Gus Van Sant not shot for shot that one too?
Yeah, man. Hey, anyone who is listening to this and wants to make that a reality, please contact me. Let's do it. I'll write that for free.
Just let Kurt Russell be the
Hell yeah.
main character.
Would either of you wear a watch that told you how much Christmas spirit was left in the world?
That was a large watch, and I'm not a watch guy to begin with. That was basically steampunk Santa.
What if you don't want to wear that watch? What metric would you track on your watch? Like the world total of what?
Oh.
I don't
Ooh,
have an answer for this either.
Oh,
But like
how many people are jerking off at the same time right
that's a
now?
good one.
that's you want that on your wrist?
Why not?
I think it's a good conversation starter.
You're like, oh shit, what's going on right now? Like, holy fuck, like 6 more million people just started jacking off. It's like, oh, everybody's at work.
It's like the World Cup's on. You're like, damn, numbers are down, and then
Yeah,
immediately
exactly.
after, like,
Christmas
numbers are
spirit.
up in one very particular country.
Yes. Exactly. I think it would be fun to know.
But you want like so all the metrics of all the data you could possibly have on your wrist. You
Yeah.
want concurrent,
Like
current
this.
and concurrent masturbators.
Yeah, this many people are currently jacking off. I think it'll
Okay,
give you a good pulse on what's happening in the world right now.
a literal pulse.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
You can find out like how quickly someone gets over like a national tragedy.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
Like, who was the first guy to jack off after 9/11? Like, I would love to know.
Yeah,
I
because
want to
you're
meet
still
that guy.
get you're gonna get like the tail end of the people that like haven't heard yet. So that it's you're gonna like plateau out at like 1,000. You know, at the very minimum. Like you're gonna be like, these people are probably just waking up, haven't turned the TV or radio on, no cell phone.
I love it. I'm on board with this. I would take that watch.
I hope if you're listening to this with kids, which I don't think you are, you skipped that part too. But maybe not. Maybe
You're so right though. Imagine it's like 9/11. You're like, oh yeah, second tower, and then you're looking, you're like
I'm over it.
2,000, 3,000, 4,000. You're like,
Oof. Oof.
God,
Yeah, I mean,
you
hey,
people are fucking savage. It's been
someone did
3 minutes.
someone did it, and I want
Yeah.
to know who that person is. I guess the watch wouldn't tell us who that person is.
No.
Just
We
let
don't
us
even
know.
need to know that.
Yeah,
I just want just general vicinity numbers and
I,
probably
I
break down by geography too. That would be kind of cool.
yeah, the demos would be good. I will say that person is almost certainly on the naughty list.
Yeah, definitely.
the first person to jerk it after 9/11.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a yeah.
Because you like that reminds me of like how the most taxing like city sewers ever the most taxing time for city sewers is halftime at the Super Bowl because like everybody goes to the bathroom at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
That's
yeah.
fascinating.
So like it's that but for jerking off. It's just like oh like when would it be?
Yeah. Yeah. What day of Valentine's Day? Or is that or is that the
Yeah.
exact opposite?
Depends on who
I think
you're
Christmas Eve would have
tracking.
to ring pretty free. I think
Christmas
the
Eve, too many people are at their parents' house sleeping in their childhood bedrooms. I don't know about that.
yeah,
Yeah, they're trying to
you're
recapture
right.
that 13-year-old feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, gross. I hate it.
A couple IMDb trivia facts about toys in this movie. He gives that guy, he tries to trade that Mickey Mantle rookie card for
Yes.
the Porsche. A mint condition one of those sold the year this movie came out for $2.88 million.
Damn.
And then he pulls out a Han Solo figure at the police station.
Yes.
Apparently Kurt Russell auditioned for Han Solo, but wound up doing a Western instead. But I could also see him as a Harrison Ford-esque Han Solo, I think.
I think they're kind of interchangeable. Not that they're like the same person or anything like that, but I think that either of them could play either of the other one's roles, and I'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool.
I'm trying to see if there's any other notes that I have about this movie.
There was okay. I was trudging through this movie, just trying to get through it because it's definitely not for me. It's not for me. I'm not a child. I don't fucking like Christmas. I like Kurt Russell. That's it.
Mhm.
The part that really set me off the rails was near the end where they're like, okay, we're like, you can be my helpers tonight and we'll get all the presents out. And she goes, there can't be Christmas without presents. And that sums up everything I hate about Christmas in one sentence. And like just saying shit like that. Like I don't mind they're like trying to talk to their dead dad. I don't mind like believe in yourself. Kurt Russell's trying to make sure he's a true believer in the spirit of that stuff really doesn't bother me. It's just like the actual just propaganda of like there must be things gifted that are like material things or there is no Christmas is why I hate Christmas so much.
Yeah, I am with you. Like walking outside anytime near Christmas, or like walking through a mall, God forbid, around Christmas, speaking of John Carpenter, does really feel like putting the glasses on. Like, it just does scream, consume, obey.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough out there around Christmas time, and yeah, that aspect of it. But I feel the same way about like fucking, I don't know, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, like
Agreed.
any of that stuff. I think that
All
shit
the
sucks.
Gary Marshall holidays.
Exactly.
But don't you, like, I'm not going to bat for Christmas here, because I do think I have more Christmas spirit than either of you, even though, like, I dispelled Joe's myth of my
No,
Santa, my Christmas
Joey's a
belief.
firm Christmaser.
Don't you guys like getting a good gift for someone? Like, years ago, maybe not, like, I guess once I had disposable income, I much preferred finding a gift for someone that they would really enjoy than getting anything for Christmas.
Joey, you want me to blow your mind real quick?
Sure.
You can get them that gift and give it to them on any fucking day of the year.
No, I know that, but also, like,
That's the whole thing.
but
That's
I'm not
that's
just
the
talking
whole
about
thing.
Christmas. I'm talking about anything. And, like, this is
Yes,
just, like,
I love that. But you just give it to them when you see it and you're like, this made me think of you here. That's it. That's the whole thing. There you go. Christmas is done.
yeah, but then that puts, like, a weird pressure on them.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
does. It might. It could.
Okay, well then you're a weird gifter. Like, you just be like, hey, I saw this. I thought of you. Use this for a birthday or Christmas or whatever the fuck you want next. There. But here, I thought that you should have this. I would love to get, like, I give people presents all the time that I'm like, oh, I thought you want this. Here, I got it for you. Like, doesn't need to be a certain day.
I'm kind of on the fence here, honestly. Like, I agree, you should just do that. But because those holidays exist, like, we don't. It's like we feel like, oh, I gotta save this for a birthday, I gotta save this for Christmas.
Yeah, get your friends more anytime presents.
Yeah,
Like, when you see
you're
something
swaying
that's-
me. I feel like I'm anti-Christmas now. Let's go beat up a Santa Claus.
Joe, you gotta buy me presents. If you buy me here, this is your fault now. If you buy me more presents, I'll be anti-Christmas.
Yeah, no, that's just promoting Christmas.
How?
Oh, I thought you were saying like specifically Christmas presents. Like if I
No,
just like
what
sent
if-
you more,
what
if I
if-
sent you more random, like I just thought of you things.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying buy me Christmas presents.
Okay, cool. I'll
Buy
send
him
you more
other
I
time
thought
of the
you.
year presents.
Yeah.
Most of the presents I buy you, Joey, are memes, and you don't like those either. You just love Christmas and hate memes.
You buy me memes?
Those are called NFTs, friend, and we have to have a conversation if you're buying those.
No, I'm not. I meant like the gifts of like Joey was thinking of you that I give him all the time, or just memes that I find.
All the
that...
Facebook messages that I don't respond to because I'm like, I don't know what to say to this.
Yeah.
I will say, Trump's NFT drop came out on my birthday. I didn't get a single one from anybody. So
Sorry,
very true.
that's my fuck up.
They were sold out by the time that I tried to buy you one.
they sold out in like a minute. Jesus. Like,
I
yeah.
know.
Anyway, any other thoughts about this movie?
I think my thought is that anyone listening to this who has not watched that movie has no idea what the fuck this movie is about.
Kurt Russell playing
They-
Santa Claus, man. That's it.
they
We
might
summed
think-
it up in one sentence at the beginning.
They might think it's about Santa Claus doing 9/11. Like
Yeah.
there's no chance anyone listening to this knows
and
what the
tracking
movie's
people
about.
jerking off too.
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
Also, Joey, did you notice that there's like a weird amount of like sports in the periphery of this movie?
What do you
Because
mean?
you mentioned the Mickey Mantle card, but they're like
Yep.
in a bar that has like a Blackhawks flag because they're in Chicago. He wakes up with a Patch jersey on one Christmas morning because he's from Massachusetts or whatever.
He's got the big Patriots flag in his room too.
Yeah, yeah, like-
that was some real set design right in your face on that one. They really wanted you to know where they were from.
It's just dude stuff, I guess. I don't know.
No,
It
it
is.
was just like usually these movies don't have, because they're supposed to be timeless and like non-confrontational. They usually don't have stuff like that.
Sure,
So to
yeah.
see this stuff in this movie, I was like, oh, weird. This feels very strange to me.
I will say something that was relieving is that I thought we were going to get like brother sister like antagonism shenanigans, and like that brother was going to be a disgusting shit boy throughout like the entire movie.
Yes.
It's a real relief that they are like on Team Santa 15 minutes in and you don't have to deal with that shit.
Agreed.
That was
yeah.
a big correct decision and saving grace of this movie. If I had to deal with that brother sister sniping kid shit, I would have checked out of this way earlier. It's great that they don't do that.
Yeah, I agree. Again, not a good movie, but
It's fine.
I would say there's probably on YouTube. Watch like a Kurt Russell Santa Claus supercut. That's the movie.
Yeah, I think for that alone, I think it's worth one watch. Like, I don't think this holds up to like anything that's like some of the Christmas classics, and I don't know how rewatchable it will ever be, ever.
Well, we're going to find out next Christmas. The three of us are going to watch the Christmas Chronicles 2.
I better get more Goldie Hawn.
Yeah,
I think she's on the poster for the second one. So,
I'd watch
you
the
know,
second one of this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that. Yeah.
is there a John Cena Christmas movie? Oh, he's in Daddy's Home too.
I don't know what that is.
That's apparently is he? That's Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, John Lithgow, Mel Gibson.
The fuck? That sounds like a Mad Libs.
John
That's a
Cena
real
is
movie?
also in it. Yeah. I think I saw. Did I see Daddy's Home 1? I think it was like Mark Wahlberg divorced maybe Linda Cardellini, and her new husband is Will Ferrell. And then Mark Wahlberg comes home, and there's like this confrontation, like, oh look, it's like old badass dad, new like dopey dad, and like they're never gonna get
Wait,
along.
come on, so wait, say this cast again. You've got Mel Gibson, Mark
So it's
Wahlberg.
Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, and then I think that's in the first one. And then I think in the second one, which is one John Cena's in, I think their dads are played by Mel Gibson and John Lithgow.
Okay, so it's Meet the Parents for like incredibly divorced dads who use Redbox a lot. Damn.
Yeah. Okay, so Daddy's Home 2 on IMDb, plot summary. Having finally gotten used to each other's existence, Brad and Dusty must now deal with their intrusive fathers during the holidays.
During the holidays. All
And
right.
John Cena is like, he's 5th build on Wiki, but like 12th build on IMDb. So I don't know.
Well, if we're
We're
talking
not
about
doing that.
pro wrestlers in Christmas movies, and I know you're only talking about the pro wrestlers that were in Fast and the Furious, but if we're talking about pro wrestlers in Christmas movies, the winning movie is not Santa with Muscles starring Hulk Hogan. It is Santa's Sleigh starring Bill Goldberg. That is the
Ooh.
best Christmas movie with a professional wrestler. Though, you know what? Honorable mention to Jingle All the Way with The Big Show.
Interesting. I like Jingle All the Way a lot. I also don't think that's a very good movie, but I
think,
love.
right? He shows up in that, right? Captain Insano is one of the Santa Clauses at the warehouse, isn't he?
I think so. I'm not really a big wrestling guy.
I think there's a wrestler in that movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Before he was a star of his own Netflix show, The Big Show had a small role on Jingle All the Way alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. There you go. There's that and Captain Insano.
I also Googled, and I don't know that this is necessarily a Christmas movie. I don't know. But Jason Momoa is in that new Netflix movie, Slumberland.
Ooh.
But I don't think it's a Christmas. I just Googled Jason Momoa Christmas movie, and Slumberland came up. But I don't know if it's a Christmas. Oh, wait. Jason Momoa is playing Frosty the Snowman? What the fuck?
Yeah, pardon?
Hold on.
Breaking news.
Jason Momoa, Frosty the Snowman. Oh, it's a live action film. Apparently it's still not out yet. I think this might be a COVID casualty.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Rest in peace, that movie.
Man, can you believe... Trivia on IMDb, did you know Jason Momoa is the second actor to play a DC Comics hero and a sentient snowman? The first was Michael Keaton, who played Batman and
Yeah,
later
fair.
appeared in Jack Frost.
True.
Oh my
Snow
god.
Dad is better than No Dad.
I will say I am shocked they did not bring the dad back to life in this movie. I really felt like that's where it was going.
Just like across the street waving out the window type situation,
Where it's
something.
like coming downstairs. It's like, hey guys, it's Christmas morning. What are you talking about? I've been here the whole time.
It is funny that like the Teddy writes the letter to Santa. He's like, "Look, it's been a while. It's been rough. All I want to see is my dad." And then Santa writes him a letter back. It's like, "Sorry, kid, I can't do that." It's just like, "What? You can't, hold on, what?"
We
Like,
spent a whole night of magic with you, and the thing you can't do is let me see my dad.
yeah.
Look, buddy, I'm a warlock. I'm a chronomancer, but I'm not a necromancer because that is the dark arts. I do not fuck
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
You know, talk to the Tooth Fairy if you want
Yep.
if you want that.
Talk to the Tooth Fairy, aka The Rock. Dwayne
Oh
Johnson.
shit.
All right, do you guys want to watch the trailer for the Christmas Chronicles?
I kind of want to see how they'd pitch this, yeah.
Netflix famously terrible at trailers.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
I mean,
we'll
it could have
see.
just stopped with Netflix famously terrible.
True, although the Netflix original film, which is not out as we're recording this, I think probably out as we release this, but I paid to see in theaters a couple weeks ago, the Noah Baumbach White Noise is fucking incredible.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing that because I love that book. Love.
I think if you love the book, you will love the movie. I
Hell
think
yeah.
it is genuinely, I was blown away by how good it is. So, okay. The Christmas Chronicles official trailer, Netflix posted 4 years ago, 3.5 million views. Top comment, this is a great Christmas movie. I've watched it 4 times now. It's
Oh,
destined
God.
to be a Christmas classic. Very heartwarming. Kurt Russell is the best Santa.
Ooh,
That last sentence
interesting.
is
Last
true.
line I agree with, yeah.
I mean, let's talk about it. Best Santas on film. I mean, there's
So we
not a
talked
lot
about-
of great ones.
So today also, as this episode comes out on Christmas morning, unwrap it with your smartphone. There's an episode of 1999, the podcast, that also comes out today, where John picked... Have either of you heard of a 45-minute animated special from 1999 called Olive, the Other Reindeer?
No.
I have heard of that, but I have certainly never seen it or thought of it. But
So
that,
it was-
that name sounds very familiar.
Created or produced by Matt Groening of The
Okay.
Simpsons and Futurama.
Okay, cool.
It premiered alongside, I think, maybe the Futurama season or series premiere, maybe. Drew Barrymore plays a dog named Olive, and she hears over the radio that Santa's calling in Olive the Other Reindeer, and she hears it as Olive, and so she has to go save the day. And it's this really kind of crudely, like it's Parappa the Rappa animation, and it's wonderful. It's filled with great voice actors, like Dan Castellaneta is in there, Billy West is in there, Kat Susie's in there. Like, it's just stacked with voice talent. Drew Barrymore charming in it. And we talked about on that best Santas, and I don't really have an option, but I do love Kurt as Santa here. So I'm saying that's a plug for go listen to 1999 the podcast. Go watch all of the other reindeer. It's on YouTube. It's very fun, more fun than this movie. But I was asked that question over there too. I don't have a better answer. I think maybe now Kurt Russell is the option. But do you guys have a more favorite Santa?
I was trying to... who plays... Oh, Ed Asner plays Santa in Elf, right? That's a pretty
Yeah.
good Santa.
He's also Santa in Olive.
No shit. Okay.
He's been Santa in
Attenborough,
like 7 things.
Attenborough Santa in Miracle on 34th Street. I don't remember a lot about that movie, but just the idea that David Attenborough played Santa is pretty funny to me. Certainly not
think
Tim Allen.
Jim Broadbent, I think, played Santa in something, maybe. I don't
Again,
know.
I'll go back to Goldberg. I don't know if he's supposed to be officially Santa in that movie, but gotta throw some love to Santa Slay. That movie rocks. Great Santas. I don't know. Like, I didn't think about it until I saw Kurt Russell's big goofy mug on this trailer that I have paused. Side question: is that a real beard on Kurt? Like, we know he can rock a beard. We've all seen The Thing, but is that a real beard?
No.
I don't think it is, but if it was, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one.
That's fair.
But man, he has a good-looking man with a good-looking head of hair and a good beard. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, Kurt Russell. That man has always been able to rock a beard.
truly. Okay. Are you both ready to watch this trailer?
I'm ready.
I've had a pause
3,
on that creepy face for a long
2,
time.
1, play.
Party started.
Ooh.
Oh, the dunking was pretty cool too. I like that.
Dear Santa, this is Kate Pierce. I've been really good.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go with a found footage thing, and that only got kind of sprinkled in. I thought it was an interesting take, and they didn't go with it.
Speaking of that, who was filming the Christmas mornings growing up? Because like all 4 of them are in frame.
Oh, try it.
Is
It's like
it- does it
handing the
move?
camera off. You can see
Okay.
it. It's like the
Okay.
dad has it, then the mom has it, then
Okay.
Like, actually shocked the precocious kids are not the most obnoxious characters. Like, the kids were pretty decent. I will say that.
Yeah, they
for a
were.
kid movie.
They were.
Yeah, this girl, like her role in Big Little Lies was like she had an iPod and she basically soundtracked the show, and it was always like the deepest cut, like a perfect song. But she was like 7 or 8, you know what I mean? Like, because it's the same year
God.
as this, basically. But it was like this is obnoxious, but also she's got great taste in music, and so like you can't really hate it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of her thing, like charming and precocious.
Live and in person. One night only.
Can you go ho ho ho?
I don't go ho ho ho. That's a myth.
Oh, they cut out from the trailer the fake news line.
Joke
there.
lands much
Yeah.
better like that.
It's not
Yep.
to get toys.
So if you brats don't get presents, it's not the end of the world.
People need Christmas to remind themselves of how good they can be. Wendy, you got so big.
Like this was cool. Like
I
she
like
was,
this.
She was
Yes.
the only one who was like, "Oh, this guy actually might be Santa."
I agree. I actually wanted more of that. They kind of dabbled with the cops, but
Yeah.
the whole cop sequence didn't do a lot for me.
I will say that
I feel that.
I like seeing Lamorne Morris from New Girl as one of the cops. Like he was a cop in New Girl. He's just very funny in that show. But
Oh, we got to talk about the elves. I forgot about them. Someone
The
watched
CGI
Kinda
Minions.
creepy.
Someone watched Minions and was like, "We need to do that."
we
Yes.
need something cute.
They
and
are just the
marketable.
Minions. It's
Mm-hmm.
that sucks.
Like Gremlins, though.
Yeah, that's a rough scene too.
Less than an hour before the sun rises. Whoa. Let's get this
I will say the special effects in this movie for like where they could make it very half-assed are actually pretty okay.
Yeah, that's what
The
made
dunking.
me think of
Also
the
fair,
early
yeah.
Harry
Wormhole.
Potters.
Yep.
Okay, that's enough fun for one night. Are you listening?
Tommy, you can slow down.
Come back here!
Like at a certain point, you see reindeer fly. You're like, okay, I believe in Santa now, right? You know what I mean? Like it just.
Yeah, maybe that was it too. Like they're just a little bit too much.
Me like that. Does my butt really look that big to you?
That's a joke that your parents would think was really
Yeah,
funny.
they did show a lot of bad jokes in this trailer, but that's how trailers work, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trailers are always bad.
You guys are right though. I wish that like put into perspective like one actual comment point that I have that I didn't like about the movie is that he didn't convert enough people very quickly. Like the girl, like the hostess at the restaurant's pretty much the only one that believes it's Santa besides like the one cop like at the end of the movie.
Yeah, true.
Like he walks around the restaurant, and he's like, "Yo, like this is the baseball card you wanted. This is the thing." Like he speaks all their languages, and they're like, "You're a creepy guy. Get out."
I do think that they could have explained that away if it was just like the world is crumbling into chaos, like nobody believes anymore. But like that's not what the movie's about.
No.
The movie is about them finding Santa because she sees his hand in a video, right? Like it's a very personal story. It's about this family. But if the story was instead like society is on the brink of collapse because no one believes in Christmas anymore, then like that kind of explains itself away. I don't
Yes.
know, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have liked to see, like, if I'm writing this movie,
Yeah.
I'm cutting out that whole middle with the cop stuff, or I mean, at least cutting that musical montage, or whatever you'd call it. I think a more interesting movie has more of those scenes where he's interacting with people who are non-believers, and maybe is like subtly, like what he did with the cop, where he's like, call your ex. More of that, and then maybe at the end we could have
Yeah,
had
less
like,
call your ex,
everyone-
more call your girlfriend.
Yeah, hey.
It's time you had the talk.
Like we could have seen everyone waking up on Christmas morning, like making those little changes or having been affected by meeting Santa
Yep.
Claus. I
Yep.
think that actually would have been a really,
Mhm.
a much more interesting and cool film and adventure if we had just had a few more. And you could cast a bunch of fucking comedians and stuff as these side characters and have some fun with
Yep.
it. And I think that's a better movie. Not
It's
that this
a
was
movie
bad,
that this
but
unintentionally sets up and just doesn't. It doesn't. I don't think it
Right.
realizes it's setting it up.
yeah, that first scene with the waitress really does, in that bar, does set that up, and then it doesn't really pay it off. You dabble a little bit with the cops, and then it just drops it all for him to turn into a
Presents.
CGI monster and deliver presents. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, like see that waitress like quit her job and be like, I'm gonna try art one more time. Or
Yeah.
whatever, right. Like
Yes.
she wakes up on Christmas morning and has, she gets a bunch of oil paints or like an easel
Yeah.
or something like that, and or we find out that she painted her mom a painting for Christmas or something like that. Yeah, like there's so
maybe
much
that's
you
what the
can do
second
with
one's
that.
about. We can hope. I don't know. I have no idea what the second one's
I
about.
have very little faith that they did
Joe.
that, but
Joe,
I
you
know.
gotta believe.
My Christmas spirit's at 15%, but there's 30,000 people jacking off right now. So
It's plummeting.
Yeah.
All right. We have the Letterbox game. So, for reference sake, Mad Max Fury Road, one of the most popular films on Letterbox, has been logged by 1.25, which rounds up on Letterbox to 1.3 million people.
Damn.
The Christmas Chronicles, directed by Clay Catus, starring Kurt Russell, Darby Camp, and Judah Lewis, has been seen by how many people? Chris, if you haven't played this game, it's wildly difficult.
Yeah.
Let Joe make a first guess, unless you want to go first. If you want to take a shot in
No,
the dark.
I got an answer. Less people than are jerking off around the world right now.
So Joe
That's a
said
good
30,000. You think, okay. We'll do a follow-up. We'll do an over-under after we get the number.
Okay.
I'm
let's
gonna
try to think of a
go-
serious answer.
I'm going to go. I think that it's kind of new. It's Kurt Russell, and I think that Letterbox lends itself to be Christmasers like Joey is. So I'm going to start.
This is fake news. You got to slow down on this thing.
I'm going to start at 80,000.
All right, I'm going to stop you right there. It is 80,604.
Wow.
So now, question is:
Holy fuck!
are more or less people than 80,000 jerking
More,
off right
more.
Yeah,
So many
easily
more.
more.
At any given moment, it's so many more.
Yeah, it's
Whatever
more.
number you can think of, it's more than that.
now? Global population is
I think
8
we just passed
billion
8 billion,
people.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So 1% is 80 million. 0.1% is 8 million.
80.
0.01%.
Over 80. Over 80 million
So it's
people jerking off right.
0.001. You think You think 1% of the population is jerking off at any given time?
Probably.
That is an astronomically high number.
That's wild, but I don't know. I spend a lot of time online. I can believe it.
80 million people at any given chance.
I think so. Probably. And that is like people are asleep. But I mean, you got to count wet dreams too, right? That's like,
No, you don't. That's not jerking off. That's just ejaculating.
If we're counting that, then the number is exponentially high.
Wait, how many people do you think have wet dreams?
No, I'm talking about it, like if you're just talking about nutting, then the number is huge.
Yeah, I thought like attempting to reach climax is what. Okay.
Jesus. Speaking of Jesus, happy birthday. How many of those 80,000 people have this movie in their top 4 favorite films of all time?
Well, it's Christmas. It's very close to Christmas, Chris. So
I'm gonna
skew the number a little bit, I think.
I'm gonna be.
And I will say, Chris, the one rule of thumb that we have basically found
It's
that just
never
works,
zero?
It's sometimes zero. It's been
sometimes zero.
before.
But
Okay.
like what it normally is you sort of divide by 1,000, and that's usually the number. So,
0.1% is a good starting point.
So the
Really?
basis for 80,000 would be about 80. Like that's just like for whatever reason that's just sort of how it works. I'm not saying it's true for this. I'm not saying it's true for every movie, but like generally speaking, just random ass movies, it's usually 0.1% is a rough rule of thumb that generally works somehow.
I mean, like and don't get me wrong, I have a Letterboxd account. I do most of my movies on Letterboxd, but like the Letterboxd population are the kind of people who are the entire population of Letterboxd jacked off to everything everywhere all at once, and that
Yes.
just doesn't seem to cross over with the kind of people who put this movie in their top 4. So I'm going to say, you know what? Let's go with a nice round Christmas number. I'm going to say 25, and that still seems high.
Joe?
Yeah, I was gonna be right around there, but maybe bump it up a little bit because it's December, so somebody might have switched their top 4 to have just Christmas movies. So I'll go 35.
Chris, very close. So I will say that last week on the Patreon, if you have not joined the Patreon, go join the Patreon, listen to our episode of Better Watch Out. But Better Watch Out's been seen by 54,000 people, which is, 2/3-ish of what saw this, but 95 fans over there, because there's a lot of people, Christmas movies, like, I love this movie, I love Black Christmas, I love Better Watch, whatever. It's just like all these things.
Yeah.
Chris basically right on 80,000 here, only 22 people is in the top 4.
Hell yeah.
That's
So
funny.
Chris
I
is
was
25, pretty
I
close.
was literally gonna start at 20. Yep, that's exactly where I was.
So,
Yeah.
I will say that the second one, which came out 2 years later, actually directed by Chris Columbus. So there you go,
Hey.
Chris. Has both numbers are lower. So okay, we are going to. There's 4 people I picked. It's actually we're not going to do this one. Boy, it's tough because they're all like just weird. None of these people reviewed the movie. I'm going to go to Wolgny76.
Shout out to Wolgany.
Display name is Anthony, gorilla emoji, gorilla emoji, gorilla emoji. Christmas Chronicles is Anthony's 3rd favorite film of all time.
Damn.
I picked this one, Chris, because your former podcast, The Deceased RIPD 2, Monkey Club, 2 of Anthony's top 4 films are monkey movies. Simian
Wow.
Cinema. So
Wow.
Anthony, gorilla emoji, gorilla emoji, gorilla emoji, not
He
lying.
likes monkeys. Yeah, he does.
He wears it on his sleeve too. Like, good for him.
So
Like, just
what
grew
are
up with Justin
2...
checks in and like just wrote it to the end of time.
I will say
Jumanji.
all 4 of these movies, no, I would not call that there are monkeys in it. I would not call that a monkey movie.
Okay. I didn't know the
These
distinguishing
are
factor. Okay.
monkey movies. All 4 of his top films have come out while we've been alive.
Okay.
Name 2 monkey movies that Anthony, who lives on 444 South 42nd Street, Fairfield, PA, I'm not doxing him.
I'm gonna go
That's
visit
on
him.
his Letterboxd profile.
I'm gonna go bring him a stuffed monkey.
His website is donate.gorillafund.org.
That's wild.
Is this actually... Oh. Interesting. That address is Mercy Hospital in Left 4 Dead. Okay. So Anthony's on one.
Did we stumble on an ARG?
We might have. That would be very, very cool. What is this actual Gorillas Need Your Help? Helping People Saving Gorillas. The Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund. Okay.
All right.
Name 2 monkey movies that Anthony loves.
I mean,
Calm.
damn.
King Kong.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes, King Kong '05 is Anthony's number 4
Nice
favorite
one.
film, the Peter Jackson one, which I think I saw with my dad on New Year's Eve, maybe?
I'm going to say one of the Planet of the Apes remakes. I'm going to hope it's not the Tim Burton one. I'm going to say it's the first one of the new trilogy.
Yes, Rise
Good
of the
job.
Planet of the Apes
There you
is
go.
his
Fuck,
number
yeah.
1. Now, okay.
Yo, Chris Podcast and I are doing great so far with these 2 movies, the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Just to say, like, sometimes we're not on, sometimes we're on. We're doing really good tonight.
It's a Christmas miracle.
The
It
reason
is.
I picked this profile is because the 4th film on here, Anthony's number 2 favorite film of all time, made me laugh out loud. Okay.
Okay.
Because we have Rise of the Planet of the Apes,
Yeah.
blank, The Christmas Chronicles,
Wow.
King Kong.
Holy shit.
What movie?
King Kong 05.
King Kong '05. What movie is the opposite of all of those movies
Inglourious
combined?
Bastards.
No, but you are
Great guess.
really close
Okay.
in a way.
Fantastic guess.
That's what I was hoping. Or
That's
like
such
the
a
Passion
guess.
of the Christ.
Saving Private Ryan.
No, right war though.
Okay.
Damn.
More depressing than both.
Whoa. Schindler?
Schindler's List. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Schindler's List, The Christmas Chronicles, King Kong.
I want to meet this guy. Or gal. I just, that's just
Gorilla Time.
Anthony, gorilla
okay,
emoji,
this guy.
gorilla emoji,
Okay.
gorilla emoji.
incredible. Incredible.
That was so awesome. That was a really good pick, Joey. Like, excellent. Top tier. That made me really happy. Thank you.
Anthony Gorilla is a new character in the Fast and Furious verse for sure.
Shout out to, he's only following one person, and it's someone whose letterbox picture is Shrek. So
This definitely
That checks
seems
out.
like somebody that I would get along with.
This
Or
seems like a
hate.
guy who memed about Harambe for way too long after that meme's
Is still memeing
expiration
about
date.
Harambe.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
well, Chris, thank you to from our Harambe to your Harambe. Thank you so much for joining us on this Christmas morning.
Yeah, man, this was fun. I'm sorry we've confused and disgusted so many people with this podcast, but
Yeah,
you know
this
what?
was-
Merry Christmas, motherfucks, and a happy New Year.
I know that you have basically shrunk away from the internet, as it's smart to do, but is there anywhere that people can find you, that you want to be found online? Or, if not, is there a particular episode, either of your former shows or just an episode you've guested on, that people should check out if they want more of your melodious voice?
Oh wow. Yeah, don't find me on the internet. In fact, go outside, touch some grass, get off the internet after you listen to this episode.
Jerk off. Raise Joe's
yeah.
watch count.
Yeah,
Exactly.
What should we do? What was a good episode of something that we did?
The live Carly tournament that you, me, and
Live
Nico
Carly one was
recorded in
good.
my house was fun.
Anything we did involving Carly Rae, that's always a through line. But I'll say, you know what? If you want a taste of us in the before times, go check out that Cage Club episode of Color Out of Space.
Mm-hmm.
That is the last time that any of us thought that we could feel something, and it's the last time that any of us were in a room with somebody for like 2 years. So you can just hear the naivete and the innocence in our voices as we talk about a pretty okay Cage movie that's an adaptation of a pretty okay Lovecraft story.
There was, like, that weekend, and I think the following weekend, Brian had his, like, it was before the pandemic, but Brian had his live high school slumber party, and Kyle did his live foodie films, and we were there. We're like, oh my god, it's daylight savings, it's crazy. And then we also recorded the Color Out of Space, I think the day before that. And then the next weekend, Chris, do you remember, not to blow up their spot, but we went to our friend's house to play Rock Band. We're all just like, if we get it, we get it. Who cares? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, on March 14th, I'm like, I already have the plans. I'm probably not going to get it there. It's probably going to be fine.
Yep.
And then we're like, oh no, this is bad. But,
I had just taken my boards. The world was my oyster. And
now your pronouns are prosecute/Fauci.
Absolutely. That guy, get him out of here. When the Q drops come, when we find out that he was actually executed months ago,
God.
it'll all make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It'll all come into line. Trust the process.
Yeah. Just like the Sixers, just trust the process. So, if you're listening to this on the main feed, the next episode coming out this Tuesday is Riddick with Nico Vasillo coming back to close out this Riddick quadrilogy with us on Tuesday. And if you're listening on the Patreon feed, there will be a bonus episode in the next week sometime. Alex Ellen's pick of the probably terrible film Superfast.
I've
the
seen
parody
it.
film.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. So we will get to that when we get to that. And then the next episode for everybody for sure is The Life in the Fast Lane, Too Fast, Too Furious, Minute 80, which will be the first episode in the new year. But Chris, thank you once again for
Thank you,
joining us
brother.
for the Christmas Chronicles. And I want a verbal commitment now. Christmas Chronicles 2 next December. Will you return?
Oh yeah, I said at the beginning of the episode,
Cool.
I love horny Christmas movies, and there's no way that if Goldie is not in this movie more, that it is not going to be horny Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus. So
Hell yeah.
I am all
yeah.
that one.
Cool. Very, very cool. Fingers crossed for a horny holiday season next year. Joe's watch going crazy. For all things Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/TooFast2Forever, or at TooFast2Forever on Twitter and Instagram. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Check out our Patreon page at TooFast2Forever.com and our store at TeePublic. And come back next time for either Riddick or Superfast or Life in the Fast Lane. Who knows how any of this happens? I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too.
And that was Dr. Chris Podcast, and we'll tell you all about it.
See you